Hello there everyone, welcome to my first cast in quite a while actually, and there are many reasons for that. Been quite busy and a number of things have been happening, but it's a 1 versus 1, and just before we do start though, I am going to say that you can send in any PA Stats replay links to me and I will have a look at them and see if I can cast them for you and whether they're worthy of going up on YouTube or not. I cannot promise anything though. Now, jumping into this game in yellow on the screen, we've got Mott, 9001 from the realm, as we are more than used to his name now. Going bots first with 2 mechs thereafter, going fabricator first as well. Meanwhile on the other side we have XX Lil Bitch, or also known as Janno. I'll probably refer to him as Janno just for courtesy's sake there, but going a similar build, bots and fabricators with 1-1 rather than 2-1. If we zoom in on Mott there, he's going double bots, interestingly enough. He's also trying to get up lots more metal at once, whereas Janno seems to have gone for a more balanced build, going air second, and then a couple of bot factories thereafter. So he wants to get his scouting early with his air, that's fair enough, and he wants to get his early mobility and harassment opportunities there with the bots too. That is something that you typically see when you get a heavy bot opening like this. What we can also see that Janno is doing though is he's popping out a number of fabricators in different directions, so he's getting lots of different expansion going at once, which as long as Mott isn't paying attention to that or scouting that, that means that Janno could get up a lot more expansion without Mott realising or being able to take it down. It also means that if he does get this expansion up without being hampered, he could even put up some proxy bases, especially on a map like Rock, where you've got this whole side of the planet that is just so open and full of empty mechs and craters that you can build stuff on. For me, for instance, if I was in Janno's position, I might consider popping up a proxy base around that location there. Meanwhile, back to Mott now. I'm just going to pop up the camera to be like that. We can see that he is popping up a few bots now. He's getting up a couple of radar, some AA. Interceptor does go around scouting, seeing that though, so that's good for Janno. He knows that that's not a place where he wants to be flying his planes over. He knows that a few bots are coming around the back, so he'll possibly put some bots round the back here to be able to defend against those that are going to walk in, and he'll probably want to put up a few point defense as well around his metal points to defend that going forward. A few bomber coming forward though, despite having scouted the Galata turret. Oh dear, that wasn't very good, was it? No, you see a Galata turret going up with 2 fabricators. A bomber, 1 bomber is not going to do anything, and as a result we've got a few fabricators from Mott staying alive. Ha ha ha, staying alive, staying alive. Coming around from the back from Janno again though, we see that expansion continuing to go up, struggling a little bit on the power. How's he doing in his main base for building the power? His fabricator struggling a little bit, might want to pop his commander back onto the power to get that up quickly, or just hold off production, because he is expanding in so many different places at once. He's got 2 fabricators building there, another one building there, one in his main base, so that's 5 fabricators building at once, hence why he's stalling a little bit there. Plus he's got his factories running and his commander buildings, so that's putting a little bit of a strain on his economy. A few bots coming in here though, this could be a little bit of a problem for Mott. Unfortunately though, they go... wait, Galata turrets fire at docks now? Oh. I think that's just an error of some description. But they aren't going to take anything down that... wait, it did? What? What? Okay, moving on. That's not something I'm used to. A few walls going up from Mott, so he's obviously going defensive on his side mechs here so that he can stay a little bit further out and do a number of things at once. Janno, though, on the other hand, sending docks every which way and going up to T2 very, very early indeed, especially with his economy struggling as it is. I'm not entirely sure that's a wise decision. We'll have to see how that pays out, because he only does have... oh, he has 2 fabricators doing it, so it's not a latent factory. That's what I would consider a prioritised factory at this point. If it has 1 fabricator on it, then I'd call it a latent factory, just sort of going up over time. But in this instance, he does have... a couple of fabricators doing it. Does Mott see it? No, he does not. And he also is getting bombed by Janno here. Potentially lose a couple of docks, but no, the AA is too strong with this one. Mott at this point moving out with a few more bots, though. And to be able to going to be able to overpower that nicely from Janno. And he's got, when those move up, they'll have quite a large group of bots there together, and that'll be able to push in and overwhelm any defending force from Janno at this point. If we have a quick glance in the army tab while we see Mott raiding over here, we can see that Mott there is leading on the unit counts at this point. Don't forget that a lot of Jannos are fabricators, and also sparks coming out, interestingly enough. Do you see a few bumblebees though? They could do some very good defensive work, but we'll have to see whether Mott is getting any air out. No, he is not, so he's not going to be able to shoot down the bumblebees with interceptors. He's going to have to rely on the docks AA. And we can see that sort of proxy base going up though from Mott. But the docks there from Janno could be targeting those fabricators. Go back to the economy tab though, as this is going to be a crucial part for Janno. Can he get his production out and sorted? That is the question. He's going to struggle, having been raided like this, but his commander popping out a few more factories just to get his bot production up and running again. That's all well and good. Just has to hold on a bit longer until his T2 is ready. We'll have to see how he manages to do that. We've got a number of P-gens going up from Mott as well, so obviously he's planning on maybe really ramping out the production. And indeed, there it is, down the back, with 4 fabricators building bot factories all in one go. That's going to be a lot of production, I'm not going to lie. And over time, as long as Janno doesn't scout that, that could be a real issue, because that's just going to get production out of control there for Mott. Janno queued up more T2 bot factories? What? Well, he's queued up a bunch of his own T1 bot factories, which is all well and good as well. He's going sparks. Ooh, very interesting. So he needs more power than he's got currently to run those sparks in the numbers that he's producing them. And he's got his T2 up now as well. Slammer's coming out early on in the game, 7 minutes. And his second T2 factory going up as well. I'd probably recommend getting out a Faber first at least, especially if you're not being attacked too much. But at this point, something to be noted, neither player is really scouting. Intel is crucial. Mott's intel is required for the T2 knowledge, and Janno's intel is required to know, where all the fabricators are and what's going on back here. This is the big one, with all of these factories around the back. We'll have to see what this bomber can do. Does just about run in range with Galata. And down it goes again. Not ideal. Not ideal at all. That was unfortunate for him there. I think he does need to work a bit on his bomber micro. It's not great. Could be improved, especially considering he had scouted that Galata. But a few blocks coming in here. They will take down this fabricator. That's a worthy prize there. Oh wow. This one took down a radar. Very nice. So that puts this whole side into the darkness. Mott now going for T2 though. That could be very important. We'll have to see how he uses that. Will he go for slammers or will he go for the fabricators first? Sparks coming in against the docks though, and sparks and these numbers will decimate the docks, because of course sparks do take a little bit of a beating from the docks if we watch how much the docks need to actually shoot at the sparks for them to go down. He is stalling his power though, and this is what I mean by running those sparks. You're going to really run into some power issues going forward, and he needs to sort that out. He did manage to defend quite successfully against Mott in the middle there, which I put in the picture-in-picture for you to watch. But Mott now with this proxy factory here, I say proxy factory, it's more like staging posts, is just sending docks and a massive area patrol around this whole region, which will just gradually pick off the metal from Janno. Here he comes though. Docks versus docks, and there's a spark or two in there as well. We'll have to see how that goes. Very nice. It looks as though the force there from Janno is going to disappear, but that is the crucial bit. He has just seen all of those factories, and he now knows, oh dear, that is not good. I need to go and deal with that very, very quickly indeed. We do see a few slammers coming out the front now as well, deciding to push out with those. I think Mott might be aware of this as well now, but Janno needs to get to this bot factory and be able to get rid of that very, very quickly indeed. There's already a T2 bot fabricator out from Mott. Have we got any out from Janno? No, we have not, so he's not getting up the advanced economy, and he really needs it at the moment. If you look at his economy there, it's falling into stalling many, many times quite frequently as well. He needs to really deal with that. Mott, on the other hand, though, getting up the T2, and that's stalling his economy at the moment, but that's going to pay dividends later on into the game. Janno's still trying to mop up all the mechs around the back that Mott has just been peskily spewing docks out left, right and centre. Sending his slammers to do that. Rather interesting decision to send his slammers to do that, but there you are. And he's seen the T2! He has seen the T2. He knows that Mott is up to his old tricks. Oh, mouse wheel. Come on, thank you. Spark here, being a nuisance. Very nice. Because why not? But he does need more power. I do know that Janno loves his sparks, though. Most games I've played with him, he's always using his sparks, but he needs more power, and without the T2 power, you know, this bomber here, though, please, bomber please, just go on that, we'll take all of those down. They go the other way, though. This could, oh no, there's a number of slammers there. I was going to say this could pose a potential threat to this power, but the slammers will be there to defend. There is the T2 fabricator there, though, finally getting up the economy, but it's a little bit late. Look how slow that is getting produced. And that's because he's stalling so hard down below 50%. That's not good news at all, especially at this point in the game where you really need to be sending out your T2 or just really upping your production. Because Janno at this point has lost all of his back expansion because of Mott's staging post, and that's really putting pressure on him. Mott, though, still with a superior unit count. If we go to the army tab there, about 100 more units. And these sparks aren't going to be able to do much against this. They're being goaded out. Oh no! They barely even do any damage whatsoever. Maybe 4 or 5 go down there. But there's not a lot Mott can do about this. There's a whole bunch of sparks here, but I think this is getting to the point where we've got Doc's critical mass versus sparks here. We do need some more bombers, but stalling just so hard. And the sparks aren't helping because he doesn't have the power to support them. Oh no. He's just going to lose factories here. He could pop a good commander Uber Cannon. I mean, come on, Janno, Uber Cannon. Uber Cannon! You know you want to. They've seen the commander, they don't want to go in just yet. They know that the Uber Cannon is the real threat to group docks like this. They don't want to necessarily take him head on. They might want to separate and will micro his forces there. In fact, he's just going to bypass the commander completely and just wreck the power even more. That's going to be even more painful. We do have a few slammers coming in now on Mott's front line here, wrecking the defensive force from Janno, but the docks are just still too mobile away from the commander. There's too many of them to... Whoa. That's Uber Cannon in the wrong direction. But the docks are just too mobile. It's just... Oh dear. And I think at this point, Janno's metal income has just been decimated around the back. His production and power has been decimated, and Mott with his economy streaming ahead now because he went for those fabricators and started getting that T2. What? I didn't even notice his base trade time. Oh dear, well. This is the question now. Can Janno do enough damage? I don't think he can, because Mott still, look at that, it's just 351, 200 more metal income, plus floating there from Mott, and all Mott has to defend is a bomber and a few docks. Factory count, though, as well, still ahead for Janno. Are you serious? 5 more factories. Well, I suppose he's got the T2 factories there, but running all these T2 factories without the T2 economy is just not good. It's not good. Has he decided to go away from docks yet? No, he is still building the slammers. Not slammers, sorry, sparks. Oh dear. Yep, that's cool. Slammers will take down the fabricators there. Lovely loss of fabricator life. But well, let's look at the damage that was done there. A few P-gens and a couple of mechs and a factory. Not great trade, to say the least. At this point, you know, you just got to keep on the pressure. Even if you're in a losing situation, you just got to keep on the pressure. But Mott now back up with a factory count, continuing to produce those factories, got the commander on it as well. What's he doing around the back here? He's expanding again, building another proxy base around the back, and this is where it's really going to start cementing Mott's leadership in this game beyond what it already is, because the factories are going up, he's got the resources to support it, and that is where his unit numbers advantage is just going to really start snowballing. And now that Mott's fought Janno back into his base. He has the opportunity to go and expand out again further than he did before and claim all of this side here, although Janno's actually doing it with a sneaky fabricator. He's like, well, you're not expecting the sneaky expansion. And so he's just moving out there, but Janno now with very little in the way of defense as he's pushing out the front. I'm not sure this is a wise move. He needs to sort his units out as more docks are going to continue to stream into the base. The Slammers will be able to deal with this quite nicely, actually, with the single file docks there. Very, very nice indeed. But it's the back here that's the issue now as the Sparks try their best. Will he notice this in time to move his Slammers back? There are a few Slammers coming in the front door now just to get rid of the remainder of the defensive force, which means that he won't have too much to deal with the stuff at the back, but the stuff at the back is just going to start continuing to go through the factories now, pulling Janno back away from his unit production, although it might... I mean, there's just not much he can do against these docks. He does have a few Slammers here, but there's just so many docks there. I don't think he's going to be able to do much about this. I think we might see the GGs called quite soon indeed. He's trying to push in against Mott, but Mott just has the production and the unit numbers now. If we glance back at the army tab, 300 more units, 260, close enough. But still, it's just painful. Painful. And the factory count now will double for Mott, and he's not doing too bad on his eco. He's not too far off 100% and floating around that thereabouts. So he's got the support for double the production of Janno. Janno does not have the support for his current production of half that of Mott's, and he's lost his expansions and he doesn't have the unit count. I think this game is getting to the point where it is sealed. I think the real issue for Janno was going so heavy on the T2 so early and then not getting up the T2 economy. That needs to be a priority when you get a T2 factory out like that, especially on a map like this. Especially if you had just lost your expansions, economy should be your priority. It's an interesting dynamic that neither player really decided to transition to vehicles going forward into that game, because I think a vehicle versus bot dichotomy there would have been interesting, although given the way that Mott played this, he just got so many bots, and unless you're comfortable with doing vehicles versus slammers and you're comfortable sort of being more defensive in your play, then vehicles aren't going to suit you on a map like Rock, because you just have to get these expansions. You have to be able to raid them as well. And that's what Mott did really, really well and effectively early game there. Continuing to pile on the pressure. There's going to be one hero bomber to defend against all of these docks. Is it going to bother? Or is it going to let them stream in? I think it might let them stream in. Oh dear. I think it's going to let them stream in. I think Janno's going out with one last hurrah, seeing if he can pick off a commander snipe with these units there. But I think Mott has the defensive force. He can see it coming. You can see him re-rallying his troops there while you watch what's going on in the picture-in-picture. And Mott's commander now, not Mott's commander, sorry, Janno, was eliminated by that last push from Mott. I need to get a new mouse and mouse scroll wheel, because this one is not very nice. Hence, the picture flicking everywhere. But there you are. Good game from Mott. Hope this has been useful to you. I hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to leave any feedback. And don't forget that if you have any games that you'd like me to have a look at and possibly cast and upload, send your PA stats links to me. Be it on the Uber forums or a YouTube comment or whatever. The submission is possible. Thanks again very much for watching, folks. Don't forget to leave a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more PA on the way very, very soon indeed. Thanks again, as always. Until the next one, have a nice day. He's just going to lose factories here. He could pop a good commander Uber Cannon. I mean, come on, Janno, Uber Cannon. Uber Cannon! You know, you want to. They've seen the commander, they don't want to go in just yet. They know that the Uber Cannon is the real threat to group docks like this. They don't want to necessarily take him head on. They might want to separate. Will Mott micro his forces there? In fact, he's just going to bypass the commander completely and just wreck the power even more. That's going to be even more painful. We do have a few slammers coming in now on Mott's front line here, wrecking the defensive force from Janno, but the docks are just still too mobile away from the commander. There's too many of them to... Whoa. That's Uber Cannon in the wrong direction. But the docks are just too mobile. It's just... Oh dear. And I think at this point, Janno's metal income has just been...